Hey guys, how are you? Getting ready to start. How's my audio? Can you hear me? Hopefully you can. Good day, mate. All right, everyone. Welcome to the Trade Ideas live stream. As you know, I'm grateful to be here and have anyone who wants participate in this. And I'm starting out today a little bit different because I want to kind of just showcase something that I think it's not that you miss. I think many of you know. But I'm putting this gentleman, this is an X feed. This was a gentleman by the X handle retired trader. He trades at Cobra Trading. Cobra's a partner of ours, and lots of their very successful traders trade using trade ideas. But I kind of wanted to show you that it's not just us pumping our software. People who are at the very high level of skills, and there's a very big difference and distinction that I want you to be aware of, and that is there's the influencers and then there's the real traders. And the influencers, the trading view guys, the YouTube guys, thousands or hundreds of thousands of followers. I've come to believe that most of that is completely fake. But you have real people like this gentleman, retired trader, who's got, 600 followers because he's not in the game of, and by the way, you should follow him. He's very smart and he's posting his P&L. But what I'm really trying to showcase is that successful people like yourselves tend to gravitate towards trade ideas because we are made by people like yourself. My friends and I and our management team, we've been in this game for a very long time. I've gone through incredibly difficult battles, ups, downs, everything. And we're not marketing personalities. That's really, the difference. We're not in the game of sales. I mean, we run a successful business, and of course, sales is a part of that business. There's no question about it. But I want to show you here again, retired traders posting his P&L, doing very well. Other people doing the same thing. And, he talks about his experience, like, setbacks, positives. And, he created a squeeze scanner with trade ideas. And, he sent the settings to people. And I'm just trying to showcase here that this is the real deal. This goes beyond the marketing. And I think it's something that we want you to be aware of. And that is that the way we visualize the data, the way that we present it, like what you're seeing here, like let's just all take a look at this real quick. And this is our homepage. And by the way, we made a little bit of a modification to the homepage. Thank you, Ozzy. Really appreciate what you're saying. We made a homepage modification by trying to tell more of the story. And I'll tell you what we did. Start with master momentum with trade ideas, AI real-time signals, master the market by being first, and master yourself by doing what works, and that is repeating the successful cycle. I tried to communicate the story on the homepage, and I really want you to really think. Notice, by the way, that this piece of tech right here, we are the only people in the world that have it, okay? And look at what you're able to see. You're basically able to see the gigantic runner happening as it starts to happen. This page is a page that I'll show everyone once I'm off this homepage, but this is a replay of the first hour of of the market. And if you are on this technology, you would have been able to spot this. And for example, RAI does similar things, not exactly the same thing, similar, but this piece of tech is just so phenomenal in terms of the simple aspect of momentum detection. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to show you a little bit of something here. This is our Trade Ideas AI. I want to talk about a trade that I was in. And again, everybody who's in premium, if you're not using this, you're just missing a gigantic piece of the puzzle. So here's Gipper. Okay, and by the way, I want everyone to quickly see what happened. These are 10-minute bars. Let's make it 5 minutes. The trades again. Okay, so signal comes in right here, 129. And this is generation income properties, small revenues. Momentum is not always about fundamentals. Pops in right here, runs up quick in the first 5 minutes, but then 5, 10, 15, 20, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 25 minutes later, it lets you get back in. This happens in the market. It's not always just get and go. And if you're not aware of that, then you kind of miss a big component of it. This is momentum-based trading. So here you got back in, pulled back, and then it starts kind of going and is continuing. This is the reality of momentum. Sorry about that. I was a little bit far away from the mic. Is everyone else able to hear me, or is it just, how's this? Is it a little better? Hopefully. I'm just trying to show the reality of what momentum looks like, and I want to show it through another example. Wolf. Okay, let me put this one here. AI signal 229 one day, closed up a little bit higher, but then the next day, look at how far it went, 356. And I was in this trade, and I showed this to everybody who follows me. I did a whole email about how one of the things that differentiates us in Trade Ideas is we get into these trades. We use our own technology, and this is the truth. You see it. And I put this on, I showed an example of my E-Trade account where I got into this and rode this for about 58% between this call. And the beauty is that the AI can do this too, and does it, where it gets in and then it can get in the next day. So there was one call on Friday and then another call on Monday. And this call on Monday was, again, also quite amazing, although it finished lower because pullbacks happen. This is, momentum-based stuff. We're not in the total game of, people often misunderstand the stock market because they think you can predict it. It's not about predicting, and I think what I'm about to say is probably one of the more Trader Joe, I'm going to add, I'll answer your question. I think it's a great question. Trader Joe asked the question of how do we know if the Holly AI is a day trade or a swing trade? The algorithm looks to want to find long-term gains. Long-term meaning as long as possible. Every trade is designed to potentially be a swing trade, but obviously they don't always all work out. So while every trade is hypothetically a long-term trade, how you manage risk has to be totally related to your financial footprint, fingerprint, and what can you hold on to? There are some people that can get in there. Like, I'll give you an example of wolf. Let me go back to the day. Some people, let's go back to this trade right here, 229. Okay, some people got in here and their exit is below the low. They're still in. And again, you can adjust all the time. Notice you're in the trade wave buy area, so it kind of feels good still from that point of view. Okay. But every single trade, the AI is designed not for day trading, because believe it or not, Team Trade Ideas does not believe the concept of day trading exists. I know you're going to be like, Dan, what are you talking about? Day trading is a word that was made up to conspiracy label the concept of momentum-based trading. And momentum-based trading is simply a way to ride market momentum, and it has nothing to do with time. It has to do with percentage return. Are you up? Are you down? Are you up, and could there be a better use of your capital in terms of opportunity costs? Okay. Remember, like, we're trying to give you visuals of what's going on in lots of different ways. Here's fuel cell. Buy signal happened at 6:15, starting to go again. Here's one again, QMCO, like 6:50. 760. This happened recently, and you're starting to get after it. And look at the potential. The potential is there. Everything had earnings, had a gap down, and these earnings retrace are some of the best things ever. And the idea being is that we're giving you the broadest data stream of being able to find opportunities and stay in them. That is our whole objective of Trade Ideas through data. It's not a magic 8-ball. We are card counters a la Vegas. That doesn't mean that everything that we get into is going to work. It just means that based on what's been happening. And this is the beauty, and I want to make sure that everyone understands what I'm about to say, because it's very important. We get often asked this question, well, Trade Ideas, you don't study enough of the data back. Where's 50 years of data? You're listening to idiots. Okay. The most important thing in the stock market is what's been going on recently. Like, for example, so the surf reports, don't study surfing reports of 20 years ago. It's like, what's been going on? What's the current wave system? How is it right now? Because that's what you're dealing with. You're trading in the now, not in the past. What we try to do is formulate a strategy to see behavior. And that behavior is isolated quantitatively, and that's where we get these signals. Okay? And that's what it looks like. Yesterday's signals. 20. Now, here it's continuing. And look, this is the kind of stuff that, again, has potential. But again, how you play it will have to depend on your own risk tolerance. There is no system in the world that's available to anyone that's just going to do everything for you, make you money while you play golf, and you come back and you're like, thanks. William, let me see. I haven't actually looked. Let me see. OC. Okay, let me see. OPAD. They bought, like, how about this, guys? William was asking about OCTO, and I'm going to bring it up. No. Yeah, I don't believe we were in that at all. Unless I'm missing something. But OPAD, okay? Do you guys see this trade that I'm showing you here? 825, today's 917, 92%, with really virtually no drawdown, but you had the maximum, it took 1, 2, 3, 4 days for over 200%. You're still at 92 right now. I mean, but you're at quite a bit of a pullback. But 1, 2, 3, that's the business that we're in. Okay. This OPAD is why we have, in our opinion, certainly, I mean, we don't know what other people are doing, but we believe we are the most potent financially beneficial subscription service for real active investors. All right, so I'm going to try to jump right back into something here for you all. I've been testing the money machine quite a bit, and I want to tell you where we are with it, and I want to tell you what I'm doing in it right now. I mean, this stuff was, so today is one of these days. Once again, let's just take a look at what we're doing. And I was talking with the team yesterday, and they were talking about how we want to make sure everyone understands. While the money machine is incredible and it's going to do incredible things, you know, you can't make the sun shine when it's raining. And what I mean by that metaphorically is that sometimes, even with something like the money machine, not everything is going to work. Like here, what I'm doing is like I'm buying stocks, like in this particular case, that are pulling, like strong stocks that are pulling back some. But here's an example where I bought it, you know, it came up, pulled back, bought it again, but now it's, you know, a little off. It's still within the risk parameter, but all of this stuff happens, and especially in a market that's doing this. Okay, so you have to understand that there is no such thing as the super magic 8-ball. Okay, does that make sense for everyone? In terms of expectations, we're all adults here. You have to know that while we give you incredible technology, you know, it's kind of like AI. AI can do a lot of things, but it really still doesn't replace people. Like, you know, while it can help us formulate a marketing plan and an email, it doesn't replace the people creating the content. Because if you just ask it to do it, it would not do anything good. You have to what's called prompt or use it properly. And this is the same thing with, imagine that the money machine and Ollie they are in essence types of AIs. And what you're doing is you are prompting. Okay, you are prompting the machine to give you signals. So I'm going to bring up another window, and I'm going to talk again about something that we're doing that you hopefully will be able to do yourself. So what I'm going to do is, remember, this is all in sim mode, and you should be doing the same thing I'm doing. I'm exiting these. Okay. I'm going to stay in these profitable trades, but one of the things that we're really working on right now is making it easy for you to, let me see if I can get a new doc channel bar here. Hopefully it won't do anything bad. Bear with me for a second. Okay. So this is our explosive winners channel, and this is the one where we talk to you about, if you are using this, you really should not miss anything. Okay. So let's take a look at why this stuff is coming up. This is one of my really great examples of what this technology, whoops, hold on a second, is going to find, because what's happened here is, look at this stock. Down, 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 down. And look at this beautiful trade wave, buy signal, sell signal, but right back to the buy signal. And if you're not using trade wave, again, you're also not taking full advantage of everything that we have to offer. That's right here. Make sure you have this turned on your charts. It's very, very powerful. By the way, I want to make sure, is audio coming in? Everyone can see my screen. Everyone's getting the information that I'm showing you. Really take a good look at this display, okay? Momentum racing is an innovation that Trade Ideas leads in, okay? And this tree map is simply another version of the same thing. Look at these moves. I mean, look at this. This channel alone, Ozzy, thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. I love hearing you guys' feedback because we try so hard. We know like the challenges of trading because we do it, and it's, you know, it's a moving target too. You're always trying to figure out something that you may have missed. Okay, and I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to test something here. Bear with me for 1 second. Oops. Okay, so let's talk about hidden gems of trade ideas. Okay, let's just do this real quick. So do you guys see this right here? I like to, in these live streams, point out things that we've actually had for a while, but often are simply missed by a lot of users because they just need to be exposed, and that's what I'm doing. So let me just show you here. Right click, competitors, price action. Okay, so I'm on the price action part. So let's take a look at BLDP. Okay, so right now, in terms of price patterns, it's kind of in a unique price pattern. And I'll explain what happens when we find one that has more than one. So I just did NXDT, okay, and it said INFY has a similar type of pattern. So let's look at this, and let's look at this, and let's click on INFY. Do you guys see what I'm talking about? This is price pattern recognition. And now if you dive into INFY, you can get into more specifics. Okay, so if INFY looks like this, then TDOC might look similar. Do you guys see this incredible power? Oh, Pepe, we love Pepe so much, and he is one of these gentlemen that has the skill set probably to do it. But I mean, really, you know, we have more than 2 decades of technology that's completely custom made for what you are seeing here. So it's not easy to replicate. And if it was, other people would have done it. But and I think Pepe would tell you the same thing. To replicate what we do, you would have to create a completely custom database, data consumption and relay mechanism that we have built specifically for this. And it's not built with like, see, a lot of times in technology, people get libraries and they build stuff through being able to utilize things that are already out there that you can use. Well, the stuff that we built it custom for trade ideas because none of it existed. There were no libraries to get real-time data, do stuff with them in the database that we do to create new types of data, like change over 5 minutes, position in 5-minute range. These are all custom data sets that we have and hold and maintain. And that's what gives us the advantage to give you the technology that we have. Let's take a look at this pattern. Remember, it's in single stock window, has profile, news, and competitors. And I'm going to go and just give you an example of, let's say, Microsoft. Okay. And let's just talk about Microsoft is doing this on the chart. So, and we're probably zooming in kind of like into this. So this kind of area, like where we are right here. And let's see what AMD is doing. So you see, like, that's this part right here. And DBC, even though it's up, see what it did right there? This is what we're talking about. We're able to just show you things percentage-wise that are similar so that you can, if you like something, you know, like this one, we talked about this one as a call that we made. So here's what's GDC doing. Boom. I mean, do you see how beautiful that is? I mean, I just looked right here, and now I've got something that's similar. What about this? Again, not all of this is stuff that you're going to trade, because you can see, like, this is, 12,000 shares, but that doesn't mean you can't trade a couple hundred shares of this and have it run. Just saying that this is a very powerful piece of technology that is completely underutilized by most people. Okay, top 10 sports. So let's go. How did I do this? So I'm on the Explosive Winners channel. Everybody has this. Open your Explosive Winners channel up, and you've got the single stock window. It has details, profile, news, and patterns. By default, it's on competitors. So you can kind of see it'll say SPAI competitors. These are industry competitors. But what I did was right here, I right-clicked and I switched to price action. Okay. So now if I go to VVOS, whatever it's doing right now, it's the only one that's completely similar. And by the way, this is another piece of tech that we're working to improve. Just FYI. If the price action is super extreme, then it's the one that's doing what it's doing. This one. Okay, but IRBT, we found WIT, Lucid. And the beauty here is, notice Lucid is turning around. That isn't that we're just talking about in terms of the pattern recognition. It's not looking from here to here. It's kind of looking just in the last several days, going back to focusing on what's most important right now. Does that make sense? Okay. So SQFT, it was just the winner of the momentum race. Again, 230 relative volume, very important to be aware. 100% in a month. Let's go back to the money machine and see what we're doing in it. Okay. Once again, my open P&L is $12. Again, I've been messing around with this, and I do a lot of this testing. And so something that you ought to really be aware of when we release this, and yesterday's meeting, we just finally fixed the last couple of bugs that we think that were needed to fix. So it looks like Monday or Tuesday, the beta with the money machine is coming out, and I've often said this before, but new bugs have come in. But I'm just saying it again. That's what I've been told. I'm really hopeful this time. Cannot exactly completely guarantee it, but certainly It's something. And what I want to make sure I'm going to demonstrate a couple of things right now that I want you guys to know that what we are doing to make this more powerful. So let's say you're, again, I'm going to stop the money machine. Stop it. I'm going to get out of these. They're down. When you are first going to get the money machine, remember that it's in sim mode. So what you really ought to do is just be very, very aggressive with it, just like I am doing here. And this is a perfect type of example because there's just so much you can learn by doing it. So let's go to Money Machine settings. And remember that you can configure your own. I've got a big, I'm showing you what I've got here. Price action, 15-minute range, 25, 95. So I don't want to buy at the top, but, and the position in range also. I'm trying to avoid the tops. Change from the open, it's up a little bit. So that's really what I'm looking for in terms of the momentum profile. Okay. So I'm going to get into 4, and I'm going to hit save and start. Okay. So since I am using, a certain very tight filter set right now, the only thing that came in was this. Okay. So it's just a little bit off of highs. You can see 5 times normal volume. You can see that potentially what it's trying to do is play the rebound, and here I am in it. But let me explain the other element that we're going to Pepe, and I hope I communicated everything the way correctly, and please let me know if I didn't. But I think we are totally on the same page on the technology side. And we are grateful because Pepe is a very high aptitude individual in terms of tech, and that's where we get our best compliments is when people like Pepe can say, hey, guys, they're doing something kind of, special. And we really are with the fact that Pepe understands that most alerts also happen in filter form, which is why we can create these very advanced money machine strategies. I mean, we can make it, or you can also make it so that you can buy highs, buy breakouts and stuff, all with filters, even without alerts. And this is part of the incredible power of trade ideas. Thank you, Pepe. Again, I really appreciate your consistent compliments and all things like that. Pepe is also in Barry's trading room, providing lots of good feedback for people. Incredible asset and a great compliment to us and to the user base, because Pepe is not an employee of ours. He's an astute user who just appreciates what's done. And, that's one of the best compliments anyone can ever have as a business owner, when somebody like Pepe does what they do basically on their own. Grateful for his presence in these live streams and in Barry's room. And if you aren't in Barry's room, you should really check it out as another thing that helps you to get better. Mighty Mouse, yes, the top list filters are slightly different, but what I'm saying is you can do, I would say you can do 95% of the stuff that you do with alerts in top list. It's just a different way of getting the data. And let me give you the metaphor. Is it a keyboard or is it a piano? They're similar, but the sound's not exactly the same. Oh, Pepe, thank you so much. We work really hard, guys. As I mentioned before, I think the thing that separates trade ideas from our competitors, and there's good companies out there. I don't want to, rag on anybody specifically, but we are not venture funded. In the year 2000, myself and many of the people in Trade Ideas were part of a very large venture-backed deal that was positioning us to be the next interactive brokerage, or, at that time, IB was not even that big, but something to that effect. And we got funded 5 months before 9/11. The 9/11 hit, and the whole 9/11 hit, and the whole dot-com bubble explosion completely changed the schematic of how people viewed businesses, and they went from like young guys with momentum and innovation to like putting lawyers in, and basically the venture capital group that did business that funded us completely fucked us over, fired everybody, including myself, and the company eventually went out of business, sadly. So we learned the important lesson of, if you can do it without venture capital, do it without venture capital, because they do not care. They're only in it for the money. I mean, it's a pure for business. It sounds great when you do the deal and you sign the contract, but 1 quarter of not like being successful and you're out, you're fired. This is just a fact. What do you mean? I knew who Pepe was. Yeah, Pepe. I mean, I know that we're not the only ones who have been in this situation, but the emotional pain of being fired from a company that you started, and I just got married. I mean, this is over 20 years ago, but I still feel it, guys. I mean, it's a little bit of PTSD. I'll be honest. God, like, just, it's one of these things that as you get older and you learn, a lot of the people that you think are out there to help you are really out there to fuck you. And it's incredibly sad that we live in this type of society. And you guys see all the crazy stuff that's been going on. I'm not going to get too commenty on it, but I'm just saying, in our experience, the people that tried to help us completely, instead of nurturing and trying to help the business and help with their quote unquote venture capital expertise, they completely gutted us, brought in a bunch of lawyers who knew nothing, and created bureaucracy, which is really what venture capital is. It's just bureaucracy. And that's how Trade Ideas was really born. Through the pain of that, we learned, do not do it with raising money. We did it very slowly. It took us years to be able to pull a paycheck, and we've been doing it since then, and are very grateful for the opportunity to serve the active investor the way that we do with what we've done. Just by the way, quick heads up. Don't forget that the chart has this thing called the trade ticket, and that's what I really want to talk about right here. So let's look at something like BA Valley. So what are we doing right now with the money machine? Because we're making it so that here the money machine is doing what it's doing. It's all on autopilot. Okay? All these trades are money machine auto piloting. All the risk management is already inside. So that's all dialed in. But let's say you see something as simple as, okay, I like this trade, and you say buy. So Bally's now appears in your money machine, and the money machine will take it over. Okay, this is what is being worked on, so that you and your discretionary trading also becomes a part of the money machine risk management algorithm, so that you can try lots of stuff out that may not meet exactly every single money machine criteria. Like, again, I just did this as an example. I don't think my style is not to buy highs like this, although it could totally keep going potentially. I do not know. I just did this as an example because it was winning in a race. I'll do another one. Okay, Fathom. momentum. I mean, by the way, really quick, once again, notice this right, right here. You got the buy signal coming in. And by the way, if you want more of these types of buy signals, all you have to do is go to New, Market Explorer. All of you have an option for this. Right click, select Strategy, Trade Wave, and here's Trade Wave 5 minutes. Okay, so let's take a look at why this is so important and what you can do with it. So, and I will utilize this, for example, as a part of this concept. So let's say you got the money machine working in the background like it is here. You did some discretionary stuff and the money machine took over. So let's look at SPRC. Okay, boom. That's a buy signal. By the way, everyone, I like, this is my fucking style right here, Pepe. If you want to know what I like, forget the name. This right here is what I like. And to be honest, everybody should like it, because why does this appeal to my eyes? I want to just share this. It's very simple. Number one, you've got the yeah, no, 100%. So here we go. Trade wave buy signal just switched from sell signal. So you just see it. It's right here. Okay. And look at your risk, really. I mean, you're talking about from 422 to 384. You can see this risk beautifully. And the money machine will automatically set those risk levels for you. Let's take a look at another one. Okay, VVOS. So here, once again, look at this daily. I mean, Pepe, this is another one that if you guys, like, I'm going to put this on my heart list. This is what makes Trade Ideas great, in my opinion. Okay, is that I get to show you some of this stuff as it's happening, and hopefully it resonates. Oh, thank you, SKM. I really appreciate that, what you're saying. So take a look at this. Some of the best percentage trades are these reversals. Reversals are they're not easy to catch. But what's a potential tell if in the poker game of reversals? Pepe, I hope you appreciate this, because this is what I call not rocket science. Okay. So first of all, earnings are out, blah, 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 blah. Looks like they were good, but man, look at this. A big seller came in. We don't know what's going on. Short flow to 6%. I don't know. Okay, I honestly don't. I don't know anything that's going on here, and I don't get into the fundamental aspect of it at all. But what I do get into is this is the tell. So it's trading at 20 times normal volume and is up 1%. It's not up a whole lot right now yet, but this is someone's putting size on. Okay. And this is how you know. Okay. Maybe they know that some, news is going to come out, some discovery. Breathing disorders. I mean, honestly, I have no earthly idea. I'm not a medical professional by any means, but what I am is a surfer. And what I like to do is see if I can catch a wave that's just starting. And by the way, it tried to do it right here, but failed. So you have to have your risk parameters on. But look at that. Let's say you caught it right here, had the stop right below here, you're out. So this is the same thing, potentially. Your stop is right here, for the day trade concept. But 19.87, that's telling you that something could be going on. Okay. Let me bring up another one. Okay. So here we've got SQFT. Now this took place a little while ago. Notice the time. So we have a timestamp here. And remember, let me close this up. I'm going to pull it up again. New Market Explorer. Lots of tech here that select strategy. Ripster, a VWAP, support and resistance. I mean, this is a whole other, like the go, no go. There's so much MACD, candlesticks. You guys probably have no idea that this is here. And this is why you are in the Trade Ideas live stream. I'm showing you this stuff because it's incredible. Bear flag, bull flag. I mean, how many of you knew that this was even here? I'm going to guess not that many. But this is incredibly powerful. And let's just go right back to right here. And so really what you have is you have Baidu. Just had it, Baidu, from 90 to 132, very strong. But SPRC, we're in it. And again, like risking $28 or whatever, or I'm basically risking like right around 150 bucks to try to make 1,500, right around. Yeah, Michael. So Michael's no longer with us. He went solo. So hopefully everything that's happening with him is good for him. He did a lot of this stuff, but we are doing lots more on this technology. And Michael did a lot of good work putting this to use, but Michael didn't code it. He used the code that we have. So I'm just saying, there's a whole team that put the Market Explorer into it, and Michael certainly did a great job of putting these formulas and making them available. And again, you can move the columns, all sorts of stuff right there. So I'm going to move this back and just again continue to talk about how even though your rules are very tight, okay, here's another example. You can simply always be able to go like this, do it yourself, and have the money machine take over. Okay, that's one of the things that we are focusing on. And by the way, one of the bugs that we're fixing is notice this SRPC, you don't see anything. And there's like a little bit of a quote screw up, an MLGO too. So you can see very large volatility. This MLGO, I think they did a 10 for 1 or something. Yeah, this looks like reverse split bill to me, just FYI. So I think they were probably $1.90 or $1.19 and did a 10 for 1 reverse. Look at the float, 100%, right? So, and by the way, I just want to talk about, remember I've mentioned many, many times that in the stock market, you're swimming with sharks. Why am I telling you this? And what purpose does that serve? The purpose is ask yourself an honest question. How does a float of 740,000, where there are real owners of the stock in theory, trade 60 million shares? Just think about it for a little bit. Let it kind of process like a fine wine. And understand that not everything is exactly as you see it. Okay. So let's, as we're approaching so Trader Joe, good question. We are looking into like a note of if a reverse splits happened within X amount of time, like maybe on the right here when you pop in the company profile, recent 10 for 1 split right here, that's where it would go. A perfect circle, yeah. No, we love. By the way, what a perfect circle is saying here is really a crux of the whole Trade Ideas experience, is where we have people interact with team members, and you can totally give somebody a hard time and use your own experience and skill set to help us make the product better. Cuba, you can, by the way, shoot an email to our support. There's a couple of things that we're working on to make that a lot better, by the way. And that's a big part of the product that we're going to incorporate into a whole slew of other things. But I think if you shoot an email, somebody will be able to help you set that up. So, Rick, the first version of the money machine, when it comes out, will have whatever is the most recent here, but it's continuously being worked on. It's a product that is going to be continuously added, developed, and the more feedback we get from you guys, the more we are going to be able to do something. Like, I'll give you an example, kind of a component or something very similar. Let me come over here. I'm going to switch. Like, think of this as a money machine option. Okay, just be very broad and expand your thinking for a little bit. So let's go to some stuff that I'm not. Okay, so let's say I come over here. You know, I see this thing as a run up. I'm just doing this purely for example purposes. Set over. So I want to buy this and I can move this. Let's say this is my buy price. Okay. So let's say I have a bunch of these and I can basically say, assign this to money machine. So imagine you're cruising around like passively during, you know, whatever time frames, right? And you're just setting levels. Like, I'm going to set a level right here. Boom. Okay. You can see them on the charts. So I already have some right here, but let's just say I want to buy it today. It pulls back, and I don't know if it will right here. So I have these alerts set, and what we want to be able to do is that when you are then running the money machine, that basically the money machine has an option where, like if you look at here, this is a strategy I'm running. It's called, I just call it my E-Trade strategy. But in essence, it's almost like a multi-strategy option where you are running my chart alerts and this and something else at the same time. And it's just whatever happens. Does that make sense? Perfect circle. We are grateful for what you're saying. You know, we try to do it differently by sharing from our own real life experience and also demonstrating that not everything works all the time and explaining why that might happen. So remember, we talked about that this part right here, the positive and negative pulse is going to be integrated into trade ideas. And what it's going to do is, it is like right now, it would kind of like tell you, hey, the odds of going long are just not that good. So it's sort of like your full auto driver, Tesla, Waymo, that sort of a thing, where it's saying that even though there's some candidates, this is maybe not the great time because of this and because of the fact that the market's bifurcated. So there are tons of things that are being integrated inside of the money machine that may not be in the first beta, but we're going to be releasing betas pretty quickly once it's out. The big hurdle is getting it out. Once it's out, there could be a beta upgrade the week after. It can be like that. And there's also some capabilities where some things you don't even, some server side things, like for example, here we have a bunch of strategies that you can hear. I'm going to stop the money machine. Get out of everything here. So here you have a bunch of strategies, okay? And we're going to make a much better UI for these, but the way these strategies are done, like when we add a new strategy that everybody might want to check out, this part is all server side, so you don't even need an upgrade. So there's no new version. Like there can be like support and resistance break, breaking support, breaking resistance, whatever, like for example, like the 5-minute trade wave that you saw could become, a strategy that's filtered for you a certain way, and that would be here without a need for a new version. Okay. Let me go back here and just remind everyone that there's a really very powerful technology here on the channel bar. We were always going for the concept of sort of, I'm not a fan of Netflix because of how they pollute our children, but the concept of being able to channel surf and get to ideas, like depending on what you like, do you want to see, the big stocks? You can see what they're doing very quickly, up and down. And you can see it in this race form where the momentum is there right on the spot. You'll be able to know, well, which way is it going? Who's leading and why? Okay, here we go. So Dell's coming down the most, and Snap is moving up the most. It's so powerful, you guys. Jamie and I are playing golf after I get done here, by the way, so I'll mention that to him. Jamie, by the way, is doing some incredible retail arbitrage kind of stuff. It's so profitable that, again, he just didn't need to work anymore. And Jamie and us are still great friends. And he's here, by the way, in Carlsbad, California. We're hanging. Always talking, still getting his feedback. He's just not doing day-to-day work. So the trials. Let me explain why we don't really do trials. In our game, in the game of momentum-based trading, where you have to put, thousands of dollars to work, a barrier to entry, like buying a yearly subscription for premium, if that somehow, based on everything you know about trade ideas, because you can go to any AI or, I'm not a big fan of reviews in general or SEO because that shit can be manipulated. But ask Brock what you think about trade ideas. If you cannot commit to the capital, then trading is something that is going to be very difficult for you. And I'm giving you very honest advice here. It's one of these things. You've got to commit capital to trading to put on a trade. And if it's difficult for you to commit $2,000 for an annual subscription, when you break it down to days, it becomes like $4 a day, less than Starbucks, then mentally you're going to have a challenge putting that money to work. So we don't have trials because that's one of the ways that we are helping you. If you find yourself wanting one, then just think twice about what you're doing. And I'm only saying this broadly. I don't really know you at all, and I want you to experience trade ideas. But we do have test drives. We haven't had one in a while because we've been working on this technology, and we're bringing it to market. And once it's out, there probably will be a test drive where you can use the money machine to compete. So we have done those, often. But free trials are a little bit of venture capital BS. You know, that's just, again, my personal opinion, and I'm not asking anyone to agree with me. That's just why we do it the way we do it, and why. And I'm the CEO, so that's why it is the way it is. Perfect circle. That's cute. Okay, you guys, let's tune into some last questions. You know, it's the end of the hour. What can I answer for you?
GIPR.
So, right, Ritman, I'm trying to understand your question. We don't currently have E-Trade. Well, let me think about that.
GIPR.
You know what? Ritman, do me a favor. Shoot that question to support, because I want to say, I don't think we have E-Trade available in browser trading, but man, I could be wrong, because I use Trade Ideas Pro primarily, and I've been testing the browser, but not as much, and I don't want to answer the question wrong. Yes, Cuba, also shoot an email to that. There are notifications, and we will improve that. We hear you loud and clear there. That's going to be a big improvement for us overall. Email notifications, texts. Oh, Ali, I hope you get better soon. And thank you for that compliment. Yeah, health is the most important thing, guys. Health. So what is Trade Ideas about? Don't tell me about myself. What am I about? Health and family. You know, if you follow me on my X feed, you know, I have 3 kids, all in sports. Son's a quarterback. That's what I do this for. And I reap the benefits by being able to see and enjoy. I mean, obviously I enjoy my own life very much, but I'm saying, like, my family is the most important thing to me. So that's what I'm sharing. I don't know if you ever listen to Scotty Scheffler say what he says, that, you know, he loves winning tournaments and is obviously very successful, many millions of dollars, and loves golf, but he would quit that in a second if it interfered with his marriage and his children. Let me give you my X feed. Hold on a second. Bear with me here. I'll paste that in. Oh, my mouse is acting up right now. As I started doing this, my mouse is getting a little freaky. Hold on a second. Okay, here's a link to my X profile. Okay. Yeah, Trader Joe, there could be one of those. You know, Interactive Brokerage, the way they've done it is a little, you know, it's kind of older school, but I believe we're on it. Yeah. Let me say one last thing again, as we're here at the top of the hour. Something else that we're doing, don't forget Uptick Coffee. If you like performance infused coffee, this is something that we've been doing just recently. If you're a premium annual subscriber, shoot us an email and we'll give this to you as a gift. But if not, you should still try it out. Everyone who's tried it has given it fantastic reviews. And, you know, again, I would have never put this up on Trade Ideas if I did not like it myself. It's great. And just wanted you to know that it's there. So with that said, let me, I'll share one last thing. So I want to show you a couple of things that, you know, if you want to see a little bit of what I'm doing, these are some of my longer term holdings. So I'll share those with you guys. This is my P&L today. You know, my Nebius trade, I've talked to you guys about this one. That's my up over $1 million in this one. I think within this year. Very grateful for that. And in my E-Trade that I'm working on, I've told you guys that I mean, I'll just share this briefly, and this will be the last thing I said. My wife's very good friend, her brother is a pilot for JetBlue and has been with them for a long time. And he told me over dinner that he thinks JetBlue is getting bought out. So I'm just sharing that, and I'm sharing it by saying I'm in it. I mean, not a lot. I mean, I'm not up a ton, but I'm right here. But you can kind of see where it's been, and if you look at like 5-year chart, right? You see like it's kind of but like really like stabilizing, and it's at these levels where he believes, he, not me, he, that a big player will come in and acquire that coffee. I thought I did with Barry. I'm gonna double check with him. I'll give him some. But so I'm in these two plays. So United Home Groups, up $3,000 in this one, and E-Trade. And I trade this account on the money machine as well, but I'm doing some testing, so I've not been doing that live. So now, again, full disclosure, this is the live E-Trade account. Privacy mode. These are the current two positions I have, United Home Group and JetBlue. And these are some of my longer term positions that I trade in and out of, but you can kind of see it. You know, this one was one that has really been acting very well for a long, starting to go gold, and you can see what's going on here. So, all right, guys, I want to thank everyone for their time. It's been a pleasure being with you here. We're at the end of the hour. I will see you next week. Send any questions to support, and thank you so much for your participation. Lots of love from the whole Trade Ideas team to everyone. Grateful for your time with us. Thank you all. Thank you. Take care.